Hey Cannon, this is Keaton Everett with ABC going over your pitching video. We're going to go through and kind of talk about mechanics and sort of go through and break down a couple key places of mechanics I like to look at. You know, just kind of how we start, where we are at foot strike, how we're finishing, and then just kind of look at the motion of your arm and see if we're in a nice solid position to kind of eliminate extra stresses and just keep ourselves in a healthy position. So anyways, right off the bat, we're just going to start and look at, how you're starting. So much of how we start dictates how we finish. All right, so from the wind-up, you're doing good at limiting your motion. You want to keep those eyes locked on the catcher. You want to try to keep your head over that back foot, not doing a whole lot of motion, which you're doing real well. All right, so let's go look at right at the peak of your leg lift. So we're going to go to right about here. All right, and you're seeing yourself still bounce over that back leg, which is good. We don't want to see that weight starting to go forward right off the bat. All right, you're driving with your hip pretty good. Basically where we get power, where we get velocity is through our lower half. We want to maximize our hips. We want to keep our hips closed, and we want to drive them down the mound as quick as we can. All right, and you're doing good. At this spot, we like to see this angle. We like to see the hips still leading. All right, you like to see this foot still closed. So you're doing a good job at using that lower half to really get things working. All right, you're striding out there nice and long. All right, you got a real good bottom half foundation, which is the biggest key. Using those legs to throw is so key with pitching. All right, so really there's not a whole lot that I'd recommend for your lower body. You're getting your knee back over that back foot. It's everything's looking pretty good. You're not losing too much posture. You're not dipping down and bending your posture. So everything's getting good lower half wise. All right, and that's the biggest key to the puzzle is that lower half. Okay, so now we'll go back and we'll look at what this upper body's doing. So what's this upper half doing? All right, you're staying pretty good with your posture. You're not bending way too far back. All right, you're not getting out in front. Everything's looking good. Now the one thing you do is you notice that if you watch this glove, this glove's lagging behind your foot a little bit. Is just kind of staying back a little bit, and what this is going to do is this is going to cause your upper body to get out in front and rotate a little bit early. So if we're going to look at right when that front foot hits the ground at foot strike, okay, so your front foot has just landed. All right, and you're going to see that your posture is pretty solid right here, but you're going to watch your front shoulder rotate at the same time as your hips. All right, and at this position we'd like to see this glove out a little bit farther, and that elbow hasn't rotated down yet. But since you've rotated down, that front shoulder is going to pop open with your lower half, with your hips. So we want to see your hips at this position. We want to see that back foot turned over, that knees turned towards the ground, but these shoulders haven't even rotated yet. So they're back at this position that we kind of marked off earlier. So everything's looking like that. So your upper body and your hips are synced together, but we want to get rid of that sync. We want to make sure that the hips are going first, and then that upper body. So the right hip's driving through, and then that shoulder's coming through. So everything's just kind of synced up a little bit too much together. And what's going to help you get that is if you can just get this glove out a little bit farther and rotate a little bit later, and that's going to help you stay closed a little bit longer. All right. Looking at ball path wise, you got a pretty good path on your ball. All right, you're getting up here in this position. You're getting that elbow up nice and level with that shoulder. You got a good angle. All right, we don't see it really extreme in here. All right, everything's looking pretty good. It's just a matter of keeping that front side on line, so you're able to get out a little bit farther. All right, and with that front side pull, you're going to see through release this back foot off the ground. All right, we want to see that back foot still on the ground. We want to see more involvement with that lower half, so we're looking more at about in this position. Our foot's driving through the ground. If we're getting out over that front foot, And what that's going to do is, and that's just, again, that's just keyed off that front side. You're just early with your upper body, all right? And you're going to see this elbow get really far out in front of your body, all right? And that's just because your arms just out in front, your legs are just lagging. You know, you want to make sure that those legs are doing the leading. They're leading everything, and that upper body's following and not flip-flopped. All right, so and with your glove, you can see it kind of tucks in here and then kind of spits out at the end. So just get it out in this position first, so you don't have to kind of bring it in and then bring it back out. Just let it stay out there, and then rotate that elbow down and get that body out towards your glove, so then you can finish it. You know, we just don't want to see that this leg kind of crumple up here. If you're able to drive through that back leg a little more, you're going to pick up about another 6 to 8 inches of release point, just by staying through that back leg a little bit longer. All right, so through release here, you know, you're finishing good. We just need to see more involvement in that lower half. We just want to see it do all the leading and not the lagging. All right, so we'll just kind of watch that again, and then we'll let it go through to your next pitch, and just kind of watch yourself again. You know, lower half is really good to start, really good through the finish, or really good up to where you're about to finish, and that's just a matter of staying through your legs more on the finish, to get yourself in that more powerful position. All right, so everything's looking good. All right, and then it's just a matter of getting this glove out a little bit farther. All right, and then just rotating that back hip a little bit more. You're actually a little bit better this time, this throw. You're starting to see that back foot turn down a little bit more, so you're a little bit better here. All right, but on this one, you're actually seeing your front side bail out a little bit more. Watch this front side, and you're going to watch what happens to your posture. You're going to see that bail out more, and I bet if we're looking straight on, you know, you're going to see your body angled out towards first base a little bit. All right, and then you're going to see angle-wise, your elbow kind of stays out a little bit too far, and just kind of rotates out. But again, you know, this one you're a little bit worse with your backside. You know, here your head's still behind that foot. From release, we want to try to see that head get out almost over that front foot through release, and again, that's just staying through that back leg even a little more. All right, getting that angle. So I'm actually going to go back and look at the previous pitch to see where your head was at release. See, and so here you're a little bit better in that, you know, you're back behind that heel. You know, we still want to see down a little bit farther, but then when you see this next one, you know, you're seeing that you're you know, that there's a pretty good space behind the heel. So that's just an issue that you got to focus on, and just think about every time you're throwing, even when you're just playing catch, is to overemphasize it, to really feel that chest, feel that head way out in front of that front foot before you're releasing the ball. Just overdo it a couple times. You know, work on playing catch. Just throw, get that chest out over that front foot and hold it, and just try to get that back parallel. So just kind of overdo it. You know, feel your back foot. You know, power all the way through your little toe. You know, just get all the power and energy from that lower half, and you're going to be in a lot better position. It's a strength thing too. You know, as you get older, as you get stronger, it's going to be easier to do. But if you kind of focus on it now, it's going to become a lot easier once that strength comes. But overall, you know, it's solid. You know, and it's everything looks foundationally good. It's just a matter of a few small tweaks, sinks, and you're going to be good to go. So hopefully you had a great time at camp. We look forward to seeing you with ABC, and hopefully you're having a great season.